Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today we're working through day 18 of By the Well for God's Witness to the Wonder. I am so excited for this memory decks card that I made today. I wanted to kind of walk you through what I did. I took a baking dish that was one that we didn't use for Thanksgiving. I cut a little piece out of it, and I did rub it with my bone folder to kind of get all the embossed areas out on it. And then I actually fed it through my Big Shot machine in an embossing folder, and I got this really cool look. Now, I saw this done on an account I follow on Instagram that's for junk journaling, and I'm so excited I saw it. I will link their account down below because I can't think of the name right off the top of my head. But here I am adding a little bit of that mushroom alcohol ink. I want it to look silver, but I want it to look a little bit aged, so this does the trick. Now, I do have to say, make sure you are careful with this aluminum. It is obviously very sharp. I did use my Tim Holtz 9.5-inch scissors to cut it because it was not going to cut with any normal scissors. But here I am using those scripture cards and I'm gluing them back to back. I want something heavy duty because I have that aluminum foil going down. Right here is where I make a huge I'm like, oh man, I was not meaning to put glue on this yellow side. Originally, I was going to have yellow be like an accent color to this memory decks card. I do change it near the end, but I was not happy to have that glue, so I just kind of rub it a little bit. And it's okay because it adds some aging. It kind of takes off some of the top layers of the paper, and that's okay with me because it looks old now. So now I'm going to add paper to the right side of the paper, and this is where I'm going to add that foil. So I'm making sure to really douse that side of the paper with some glue, and then I'm going to check the back and make sure that it is lined up straight, and then use those scissors to cut around the edges. Now, like I said, it does get really sharp, so make sure you are careful with that. And here I realized that I still need to punch out those little memory decks holes. And so what I do for that is I put it on a cutting mat and then I use my Kraft knife to just kind of cut those out. It makes it a lot easier than using those scissors. Now on day 18, we're talking about the shepherds, and I already wrote my verses down with my typewriter on some Kraft Heavystock paper. And the verses were 1 Peter 1:18 through 19, which says, knowing that you were ransomed from the futile ways inherited from your forefathers, not with perishable things such as silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Christ, like that of a lamb without blemish or spot. And so I wanted to include that as a focal point of this card. And I also have this hymn book paper, so I tore out Go Tell It on the Mountain because we're talking about shepherds in there. And that way I remember this day was about the shepherds. So like I said before, originally I was going to have yellow be an accent color, but once I started looking at yellows with this silver foil, it didn't really seem to fit. And so I really liked the look of this stone blue, especially with this velvet trim. And so now I will just start to layer everything down. I really wanted to make sure that this craft paper doesn't blend in with the background at all. So I'm adding a nice deep edge with that vintage photo dye. And I'm making sure to go kind of heavy-handed, but only on the very outer corners. That way I don't have it covered everywhere because we don't want it to be too brown, especially with the silver. But adding those to the edges really helps separate it from the background. My memory decks box is getting pretty full and I'm a little worried about holding all the rest of the cards. So I'm trying to add texture without adding a bunch of chunk. I know it's so hard. So that is why this foil embossing works so well. I cannot wait to do it again. I just love the look of it and I think it'll look so cool with different embossing folders. I love this background so much that I don't want to take up any more room to add that to my card. And so instead I create a tab using my tab punch, and then I will use my Dymo label maker to add 18 to it. I end up putting the 18 in the center of the tab, but after filming, I realized I thought that it was a little off and I needed more balance on the right-hand side of this card. So I end up moving that 18 to the right-hand side of the tab, and you'll see that in the photos afterward. I will attach this tab with my tiny attacher. And then after that, I decided I needed a little bit more metal. I had the staples and I had obviously the background. So I wanted one more thing. And so I add a Tim Holtz mini clip to this Kraft paper. And then after that, I am actually going to go through all my die cuts. I had cut some out, like the birds from the branch. I had cut those little birds out individually. And I really wanted to use one of those on this card. And I found that perfect one. It has a plant in its mouth, but I didn't really want that for this card. So I end up just snipping the plant out of his mouth. And then I will glue it behind this Kraft card, kind of looking like he's nesting in that little paper. After I glue that bird down, this card will be done. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can also click that bell notification button. That'll give you a reminder anytime that I upload a new video. And I will link everything I use down below in the description. If you haven't seen day 17's process video, I will also link that next. I hope you have a wonderful day, guys, and Merry Christmas.